Hey, Matt with NorCal Bushcraft. Today I'm going to be doing an update on the DD Hammock and my modifications. Alright, well, since the last time that I did this review on the DD Hammock, I've been out quite a bit, been using this hammock a lot, like it a lot, but I had to make quite a few adjustments and modifications. The first was the bag. The bag sucked. I think maybe after 5 times of stuffing the hammock into the bag, it ripped. So what I did was I went to Walmart and they got these waterproof bags, come in a set of 3, and the largest one fits the hammock in it great. So that's it right there. So we're just going to open it up and get into it. Also, the first thing one of the main things I changed on the hammock was the connection points. I'm using something that a lot of people call tree huggers. I made these even before I knew about that, and as I did research more and more, I found out that everybody else is pretty much finding the same problems and creating the same solutions. What I've done is I've taken the webbing that it comes with, and I've brought it right up to where it bunches together, and I've one end, because it has 2 ends on both sides, one end I've put a figure 8 on a bite, and I just put a nice size washer, and then on the other end I ran it through, and then it's going to be a little difficult to see all this. I've put one of these locking carabiners, and let me get some of this through here. And I've just done a quick release knot. When I undo this bundle, I cut off probably, I don't know, maybe around 6 feet of it. But the reason I did this was it's just really lame the way they have it set up. It's not. I mean, if you're just going to go out and set it up in your backyard to 2 trees, it's no big deal. But when you're using it a lot, it's raining, you have to have a different system. So let me undo this, and then I'll come back. Alright, so I just took this apart so you could see it better and up close. So here's the hammock. Here's my figure 8 on a bite with a washer on one end, and then I've just pulled it together. And what I've done here is I can't exactly remember how many feet I have here, but when you pull this completely out, it goes all the way to the end. I'm thinking of some other ideas, maybe running some kind of carabiner through so it's one hook. But the thing is, when I want to be able to take this apart and use it as a bivy sack on the ground. Alright, so I have it rolled up here, and I have it cinched down. I was trying to figure out how to roll this mass up and keep it together. I thought little bags, but this ended up working out great. This is cobra braid on a piece of paracord. It's probably about 1 foot long, with fisherman knots in it, so I can adjust how long I can make this loop here, and it cinches down really tight. So there's the roll, and what I do is I just take a bite of this webbing and I push it through the washer, and I bring it all the way to the end here. Alright, so I have that pass through, and then I take another bite. Alright, then I wrap it around, just make a quick release knot by passing through and making another kind of it's a bite. So you got the main piece where the weight of the hammock is on, and then you have the extra amount just wrapped around as a quick release, so I could just take it right out when I want to. And what's good about this too is that I have quite a few extra feet, so if I need to extend the hammock's length to whatever it's connected to, that I have that option. It's a little bulky, but oh well, it's going to work for me now. So yeah, so I just passed through, and I had those 2 bites. The bite that's holding the main weight of the hammock, and then the piece that's holding this loop. And what I do is I just, to keep those from coming apart, I just pass them both through this locking industrial carabiner. It's just, I think this has a 300-400 pound weight ratio on it when it's locked. Then I take that extra piece, so this is not just dangling around, and I just put it right up in there also. Okay. Just one thing I've learned is you got to screw this thing down really good. I forgot one time and it kind of bent it up slightly, so I had to hammer it back down to get it in place. Okay, so I have that done on both ends, the same setup. Got it stuffed in this bag, so let me set it up. Alright, well, I got my 2 sections of rope that connect to your tree or whatever it is you're connecting it to. I'm just using floating rope, something I had, and it's yellow because I didn't want to run into it, so I'm just using that for now. And basically it's just a long section of rope. This is probably, let's see, 1, 2, 12, that's about 24 feet of rope. And then I've doubled it in half into 12 feet, and then I've tied it together, did another fisherman's knot. And what I did was I went along and tied knots in them at every so often, probably every foot or so. And then as I've used this, I've added knots to just adjust it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap it around the tree, pass it through one of those loops. Alright. And it's that simple. It's best to use webbing. But I'm just using this for now because it's a bright color. Because the webbing allows it to grip better to the tree, your pole, and whatever object. So let's go over and I'll set the other one up and then we'll put the hammock up. Alright, so I just take it at one of the knots there, open up my carabiner, screw it shut. Alright, there you go. Then you got your items, they just hang right there. Alright, well I wanted to do a rain test and just show you kind of some of the other logic behind why I've made this setup. I did the wrap the way that they said to wrap it around the tree, and I got a good rain test. When I tested this out, when I slept out overnight, it rained the whole night. And what I found was the webbing was directing the water down to the hammock and soaking the hammock. And it wasn't anything serious, but I'd rather my hammock not get wet. So another reason for this carabiner being here is it breaks the direction of water. As it does flow down, it'll go down the cord. I might get some water and condensation that comes over to here, but it won't be enough to saturate the whole end of both ends of the hammock. And also because this was outside of the tarp, like this cord is here, it was allowing just to direct the water down. So this breaks the flow of water. And let me just give you a little demonstration here. As I pour and just soak and saturate it, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's going down the cord and breaking that line of the water going straight to the hammock. So another great, awesome idea. I tried connecting this to the washer also, but this didn't really need it, and this setup worked out really good.